Roberts now available.
Okay. That's great.
First question's from Alana Rizzo. Go ahead, Alana. Let's go to Dave Vassay. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave, now that you guys have gotten out of that Padres series, is there any context that you could put it in, or do you feel like it was as meaningful as people on the outside were making it out to be?
Yeah, I think it was. Obviously those guys had a chance to get out of that series with the division lead. So for us to, match their intensity, play good baseball, and win a series, and to actually gain a game, I think is very important. And just understanding that, they still got to go through us, to win the division. So I think that just kind of solidified the confidence that we had in ourselves, and which is important.
I know after the game yesterday, you mentioned Justin Turner's running and wanting to get him off his legs. Is that the best his hamstrings are going to be the rest of the way? Is that the best you're going to be able to get from him as far as running the bases?
No. I think that each day it's getting better, but the thing that the training staff, myself, Justin's aware of is we want to make sure he's extra cautious. So to kind of reach back for more in any case right now is just not worth it. So there's just being smart with it. So I think each passing day, it's only going to get better, and he'll have more confidence to kind of, dial it up when the time comes.
Do you expect to get Joc back before the end of the season, whatever his family issue is?
Yeah, I think the goal is to get Joc back on Tuesday. So we'll see. That could change, obviously family first, but the goal is to see him back on the field in the lineup, depending on who the pitcher is on Tuesday.
Do you feel like whatever's been going on with his family's been affecting him considerably on the field?
I think maybe in recently, but I just don't know when and how heavy his heart has been.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
Yep.
All right, let's try this again. Go ahead, Alana.
You guys got me?
Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you. Sorry about that. Dave, just looking at your lineup here, is this, perhaps with the exception of third base when Justin gets to play defensively again, is this more of what we perhaps will see as far as your lineup moving forward in this postseason? And how soon do you want to start putting together that lineup that you're going to roll with?
Each day I want it to be more and more kind of like what we want it to look like. This is obviously a left-handed pitcher, so to have it's Chris in there, Kike in there, Will behind the plate, it looks right. It looks right. So obviously AJ, giving him an extra day, which he could play and will be available to hit late, would be in the lineup as well.
Any further information about Caleb Ferguson in terms of what direction he may go? I mean, obviously, I would imagine you guys are not planning on him for the rest of this season.
Yeah, unfortunately, no, we're not. And I think surgery is imminent, and I would expect it to be sometime next week.
Okay. How did he take that news?
As good as he could take it, as anyone would take it. So to just kind of understanding that it's a long road ahead, but we're going to be with him every step of the way. And, he is a big part of what we're doing and what we are planning on doing going forward. So I just feel terrible for him.
Is it Tommy John? Is that the surgery?
I think that is the surgery. Correct.
Do you have an idea as far as your starter for tomorrow?
Tomorrow, we don't know. today, once we get through today, it's going to be a bullpen day. And I think that right now we're in a great place. There's no kind of one person that I expect to take the bulk like Dustin did yesterday. So as far as starter, I just don't know who it is right now.
Okay. Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
Next question is from Jack Harris. Go ahead, Jack.
Hey, Dave, as you look ahead to the playoffs, do you want the lineup or the positions that guys play in the postseason to be maybe a little more solidified than it has been this year with how, you've kind of shuffled things around, or do you think that'll continue?
Yeah, I think it'll continue. I think that that's part of what makes us really good. I didn't expect Max to play as much third base as he has, but that's a victim of circumstance. To have Chris Taylor move around the diamond, that's what makes him special and unique, as well as PK. So I really don't see what's kind of really crazy, and having Cody play a lot of first base because of how Justin has been down. But I expect to see Cody play more center field. So I don't see, certainly not as it's a problem. And it's kind of what makes us unique and very good.
And then, the Rockies are one of these teams you might face in the first round. How different do you think a series against one of the West teams would be that you've seen a lot this year versus if you guys get matched up with one of the Central or East teams that you haven't seen yet?
I think only time will tell, but I think if you kind of just look at it from a 30,000-foot view, it probably makes it more even because there's a lot more familiarity. As opposed to playing somebody that you really don't know. And so I think that, you could argue that benefits us, but again, you don't know until you play. But I do know that we're familiar with these guys. They are with us. So it just makes it a little bit more tough.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
Got another question from Alana. Go ahead.
Dave, the Dodgers lead the league in home runs with 93 this season, and you have not even played at Coors Field yet. Are you looking forward to see what you guys can do in that area tonight?
I think we've always sort of hit well here, and we've slugged. I do think in particular Max is looking forward to getting here, but I think the thing is that I just don't want these guys to try to feel like you can just salvage a season by 4 games in Colorado. You still got to take good at bats. And, you hope the result is some slug, but I think to go out there and look at the past and look at the ballpark and say, okay, now I'm going to just try to hit homers. I just don't see that being beneficial. But, in the past we have played well here, so I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Got a question from Eric Steven. Go ahead, Eric.
Dave, the other day you had Will Smith DH when Austin Barnes caught. Just wondering, is that something that's even on the table for October, maybe once or twice, or is that something you're not really thinking about?
No, it's on the table, Eric. And I would see Will probably Saturday DHing. So I like his bat versus left versus right. And so if there's a situation where Austin's going to catch in a playoff game, yeah, I could absolutely see Will DHing.
This series, with the Texas series, it's the only, the second time you've been outside of your time zone. How has that been this year in terms of travel?
It's been a crazy year in general, but as far as like the travel, hasn't been a grind. We've been very fortunate. I guess that's a positive. And I think the toughest thing coming to Denver is the bus ride from the airport, the 45-minute bus ride. So it's not a big deal. We're very fortunate, all of us.
Just procedurally, I forgot to ask this the other day, but who's on your taxi squad for the road trip?
God, Eric, who's on our taxi squad? Mitchell White, Cabert Ruiz, Scott Alexander.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.